an old copy of the New York Voice. For once, the weather forecast seems to have been right. I've never seen this much rain coming down. It's like a hurricane hit New York. The certainty with which Mayor Weston claims he'll be re-elected makes me think that his electoral campaign isn't relying solely on rallies and handshakes. At the end of the day, you can always buy the votes that you can't win with your ideas. Cardinal Rastinger gets up in arms about alcohol abuse. This is the kind of news that tells me that the church and I will never get along too well. An umbrella in an umbrella holder. It seems to make sense. Have you ever seen a detective walking with an umbrella? Exactly. Better leave it there. There's nothing more welcoming than a welcome sign in Cyrillic. Well, at least I hope that it says welcome on it. It looks like a movie poster. I can't figure out the title. The only thing I can make out is a Navy ship. It's a notice from Slavonsky. All tenants are asked not to leave strollers near building stairs. I don't think it's funny. Vladimir Alexandrovich Slavonsky. It must be the kids from the third floor. I've got to admit, they have a good imagination for pranks. It's fine where it is. I think this is a matryoshka, even if from that sour expression, it doesn't look like something a kid would play with. Slavonsky's Porter Lodge. That stingy Russian spends the whole day inside this hole. Weird he's not here now. My office is behind these windows. Small, dirty, and far from welcoming. The Slavonsky Apartments. The last refuge of rejects and ex-criminals in retirement. It's certainly not the best place to open a detective's office, but these days, I can't afford to be too picky. Actually, it's not that bad. The rent is low, and you're not forced to fake a smile for the neighbors. Vote for Mayor Smith. Vote for a better New York. Great slogan. A 3-year-old couldn't have done better. It's a notice to residents, warning them about mice in the neighborhood. Mice, another fabulous and exclusive attraction on the Lower East Side. That's a cab. Since my car is still parked in Harlem, it's the only way that I can get to Brooklyn. Since they abolished Prohibition, advertisements for booze have filled the city streets. What was once considered public enemy number 1 is now our best friend. Old Abraham's jewelry store. In the end, they even managed to close down that old Jewish tightwad. If this recession continues, in another 2 years, the Lower East Side won't have any businesses left open. There's nothing in there. I bet old Abraham found a way to carry out even the floorboards before he left. Mackenzie's store. It was the only drugstore around. Now I have to go halfway across the east side just to buy a pack of smokes. Those boards nailed over the door make me think it's closed. A cab. That's just what I need.
Hi, buddy. I help you?
Take me to the Melville Port in Brooklyn.
Sorry, friend. I know in service.
What does that mean?
It means I no work. I on break. No wife, no work, and no question. I on break.
I need to go to the Melville Port. It's urgent.
Buddy, it's your problem, not mine. I off. If you big hurry, call cab company and have send other cab.
When is your break over?
Oh, I don't know. Can be 2 or 3 hours.
You're on a 3-hour break? What kind of night cab are you if you take a 3-hour break in the middle of the night?
I don't talk about my work with you, especially when I am awake.
Take me to the Millville port. I'll pay you twice the fare.
I don't want money. I earned big money today, and now I am awake.
Damn, driver. Take me to the Millville port right now.
You deaf power? I off. If you big hurry, call cab company and have send other cab.
Goodbye.
You said white word. Goodbye.
Greta's place is closed. It's closed.
New York operator, what can I do for you?
The taxi company, please.
1 second. Hello, Binkle Taxi. What can I do for you?
I need a cab.
Where are you?
Essex Street on the Lower East Side.
Hold, please. Are you still there?
Yes, I'm here.
I'm sorry, but the only driver in your area isn't answering his radio. He seems to have disappeared into thin air.
You don't have any other cab?
No, not right now. No one wants to work the night shift in South New York. The area is full of knuckleheads.
So the only cab available in this area is the one with this disappeared driver.
Yeah, we haven't heard from him in days. We even reported him missing to the police, but they don't care about a disappeared Mexican cab driver. They keep telling us that sooner or later a detective will contact us by radio and they'll start an investigation, but I still haven't heard from anyone. Anyway, I can send you a cab from Harlem, but it'll still take about half an hour.
No, I can't wait. I'll figure out something else.
Okay, bye.
All I needed was a missing cab driver. It seems that the only way to get away from here is that damn Chinese cab driver.
You again, buddy? I already told you, I on break.
The company says that there are no cabs in the area.
Well, obviously, I own the cab driver in area.
Hey, wait. The receptionist said the only cab driver for this area disappeared 3 days ago.
Disappear? I know disappear. I know answer radio, that all.
Then why don't you answer the radio?
I sell it, make big money.
You sold the radio?
Yes, sold. I pick up more client going round. Radio no help.
So you're the only driver in the area?
Yes, and I on way.
Something smells fishy.
And what you want now?
The receptionist said the cab driver who disappeared was a fat Mexican. And you don't seem much like a fat Mexican.
I don't understand what you say.
You understand all too well if you ask me. I'm not interested in your game. But if you're Mexican, I'm Abe Lincoln.
I'm Mexican. Adopted Mexican. Lived many years in Mexico. With uncle.
Of course. And what's your uncle's name?
My uncle called he called Diego. Diego de la Vega.
Diego de la Vega is Zorro.
Yes. His friends often call him Zorro.
He's make-believe. He doesn't exist.
What? You tell me my uncle no exist?
Let's knock it off with this story. I don't care who you are, or where you come from, or what you did with a Mexican driver. Just take me to the Melville port, and I'll keep my mouth shut about all this. Easy, right?
You blackmail me.
You can call it whatever you want. That's just how things are.
I don't listen to blackmail.
Whatever you want. I hope the police believe your story about being Zorro's Chinese nephew.
Okay. You win. You get in cab, but don't say nothing to nobody about this.
That's better.
Where we go?
The Melville port in Brooklyn. The cab glides over Manhattan Bridge, a solitary figure ignoring the speed limit. In my head, a quartet of pneumatic hammers continues to bang on my temples, reminding me that there's still a good amount of whiskey in my veins. Not exactly the best way to go to a meeting that seems like it was set up to get rid of someone quickly.
You happy now? I bring you here and now I go away.
You're not going anywhere. Wait for me here.
I must wait you here? I don't want to wait you here. This place is scary. I want to go.
Stop whining or I swear I'll get your taxi driver's license revoked.
License? Need license to drive cab?
Great. A Chinese cab driver without a license who's driving the cab of some Mexican guy that nobody can find.
Welcome to New York.
Better not waste time and head for the port's entrance. The appointment was more than half an hour ago. Better not waste time and head... Better not waste... There's no one here. This is the right place, and I'm not that late that most people wouldn't still be waiting. I don't like this. I'd better take a look around. The sun is shining. Rather optimistic for an act of vandalism. Crates, barrels, and other crap. Everything that you'd expect to find at a port. This car tells me I'm not the only one at the port. I didn't come to steal cars. A rowboat that has seen better days. No, it's saying something that it's still floating. Kane and Smith Warehouse. Looks like they haven't been used for a while. It's a signal buoy. The anchor must be broken, otherwise there's no reason for it to be so close to the mooring. An open can. Looks like there's pitch in there. The pitch looks like it can still be used. A wooden stick. From the markings on the side, it must be one of the rods they use to measure the depth of the water. Right now, I don't need it. They probably called me from this telephone. I remember hearing a ship's siren during the call. There's something on the ground. Dannazione. It's blood. It's fresh. Very fresh. Otherwise the rain would have washed it away. I didn't like this case right from the very beginning. These traces of blood certainly don't win at any points. What the hell? Dannazione. That Chinese cab driver ran away and left me here. I hate cab drivers. It would be better if I called the police. Yes, I'd better call the police. Hello, operator? Operator. There's no line. Someone must have cut the cables. That explains why the telephone call I received was cut off so abruptly. No cab and no phone. Looks like I'll have to take care of things myself. It's the Harbor Master's office. There's a notice. We would like to inform you that the Harbor Master's office is open daily from 6 p.m. to 10 p.m. Melville Port. In the 1920s, it was an important loading and unloading point for fishermen who frequented the East River, but I hadn't heard about it for years. I thought it had closed. It's the Manhattan Bridge. They finished it about 20 years ago. It connects Lower Manhattan with Brooklyn. A stop sign. It's too dark. I can barely see where I'm stepping, but I can see a blood trail pointing to the docks. There's a toy company logo on these crates. Who knows? Maybe Santa Claus decided to give up his sleigh for a more practical merchant ship. Nothing I can do. The panel is completely useless. There's a flashlight here. Yes, I'll take it. The flashlight is in good condition, but it doesn't have any batteries. Finding something ready to be used would have been too easy. The light from this buoy definitely doesn't work on its own. It must be battery powered. Maybe it uses the same kind as my flashlight. I can't get there from here. And what should I use it for? It's not a bad idea, but I'd better put some pitch on the object that I want to attach to the stick. Crates. Nothing that's worth the trouble of picking up. It looks like there's something inside these crates. Let's see. It's part of a pipe. It could be helpful. Metal door. It's closed. There are just hangars and warehouses for the next 2 miles. Walking is not an option. Pipe could work like a hook, but I have to find something to connect them. Yes, I'll take a little. Now the pipe is full of pitch. Pitch should work as glue. And what should I use it for? Yes, this should work. The improvised hook does the job. It hooks the buoy and brings it to the pier. Okay, I brought the buoy closer. Okay, let's hope that the buoy takes the same batteries as the flashlight. They take the same batteries. If I weren't already up because of that anonymous call, and I hadn't found traces of blood at a semi-abandoned port, I'd say that today is my lucky day. It's time to shed some light on this story. Gun and flashlight in hand, I walk around the crates scattered around the port. I'm careful to cast my light everywhere that someone could be hiding with the idea of whacking me over the head with something when I least expect it. There isn't anyone on the dock. I decide to look around the piers. And there, I find something that doesn't really surprise me. A dead body. Sean's dead body. I touch his face with my fingers. It's warm. He can't have been dead more than 20 minutes. Rifling through the pockets of his coat, I find a bottle that, from the smell of it, must have rye whiskey in it. And a couple documents with the name John Ford on them. They're done so well, they almost seem real. All of a sudden, a noise behind me brings me back to reality. But it's too late. A set of knuckles meets my jaw like a truck. I fall to the ground. From the rebound, my finger pulls the trigger and the gun goes off. The trajectory of the bullet is as random as my shot. The owner of the fist stands there like a statue, making noises like a caged gorilla at the zoo. I try to think of a quick way to knock him over. He's as big as a house, but a kick to his legs will knock him over like a consumptive kid. Right before I'm about to jump, the guy turns around and runs away. I follow him. But as soon as I get off the piers, a light beam hits me right in the face. "Hands up," says a voice, but I can't see the face. "New York Police," continues the voice.
Del Nero, that's a great story you just told. An anonymous call, a mysterious assailant, and a dead body. Sounds like the plot of one of those crime novels so popular these days.
I bet it's those kinds of books that made you the lieutenant you are today.
Hey, I wouldn't joke if I were you. You're not in a position to be joking. Let's summarize your version of the facts. Around 20 past midnight, you got a call from a man. He said he had information for you and asked you to go to the Melville port. You agreed to meet him. When you got to the port, no one was there. You decided to walk to the piers, and there you discovered the body of Sean McLean, a former police officer who had been your partner in this department years back until the Valenti case when you both got kicked out of the force. And to conclude, you claim that you were assaulted by some mystery guy who was chasing you when you got arrested by Officers Harris and McGee. Now, is this all correct?
It's the third time that I've told you the facts of the matter. I can repeat it as often as you like so that you can see whether I trip up, but that technique isn't going to work.
You are accused of homicide, Del Nero, and I suggest you cooperate with us if you don't want to end up in a cell. There are some unclear points that I'd like to shed some light on, if you don't mind.
Sure, I don't have any other appointments. My knitting class has already ended.
Del Nero, joke around if you think this behavior will help you. At 20 past midnight, you got a telephone call from a man that asked you to go to the old Melville port. You agreed without thinking twice. Let's talk about the telephone call you received. Answer, or it won't be good for you. Let's talk about the telephone call you received.
It was a guy with some information about one of my cases.
Okay. It must have been very important information to make you go to the port in the middle of the night. What information are we talking about?
Information on a person I'm looking for.
Interesting. Based on your story, when you got the call, you went right to the Melville port. How did you get to the port?
I took a cab.
Interesting. From the telephone records, we know you called a cab company at 12:27, but we don't have any proof that you really did take a cab. How do you explain the fact that no driver reports having you in their cab?
I threatened a Chinese driver that was trying to pretend he was Mexican.
Don't joke around. Answer my question. How do you explain the fact that no driver reports having you in their cab?
I paid the cab driver so that he'd say nothing.
Okay. When you got to the port, did you meet anybody?
The port was deserted.
Interesting. What did you do when you arrived at the port?
I took a look around.
Good. The officer said that you were inside the port. Why did you go to the piers?
There were traces of blood.
Don't lie, Del Nero. My officers didn't find any traces of blood. Why did you go to the piers?
I heard some noise.
Interesting. What did you find at the piers?
McLean's body.
Interesting. If you don't mind, Del Nero, I'll tell you my version of the facts now. I'm sorry if it's not as exciting as yours. There aren't any mystery men or anonymous calls. I think that someone was tailing Sean McLean and then decided to tell you he was at the Melville port. Maybe he did it for the money or for some sort of professional ethics between you private detectives.
Crap.
Let me finish, Del Nero. With that information, you took a cab to the port, making sure you had your gun with you. When you got there, you found McLean and you shot him in the stomach. That's how it went. Admit it, Del Nero.
I didn't kill McLean.
No? So let's talk about the gun you had in your hand when the officer surprised you at the port. You shot out from behind the docks, running like a madman with a gun in your hand. Is that right?
I already told you what happened.
Paraffin analysis on your gun shows that you used it tonight. How do you explain that?
I already told you that my gun went off during the scuffle.
Oh, of course. The scuffle with the mystery man. A man whose face you didn't see and that the officers didn't find any trace of. Del Nero, there were only two people at the port tonight. You and McLean. You were the one who killed McLean!
Why would I have killed him?
Revenge, Del Nero. Nothing but revenge. McLean confessed to your involvement with the Valenti family, and that cost him his job on the force and got you a year in the state prison. Well, that seems like a plausible reason to kill someone.
These are just theories, Malone.
These are the facts, Del Nero. Confess. It was you who killed Sean McLean.
It wasn't me.
Say you're guilty, Del Nero.
I won't confess to something that I didn't do.
Del Nero, the law allows me to keep you here for as long as I need to. If you confess now, the judge will go easy on you, and you might get off with a lighter sentence. Otherwise, you stay here in this room until we find the evidence that shows you're the killer. And if we can't find them, I'll make sure that something turns up. Goodbye, Del Nero.
Bastard. Dannazione. Malone won't take too long to get the proof he needs. I have to find a way out of this situation.